Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel, man. We must continue to set the record straight, stop the lies, stop the narratives. But more importantly, guys, what? We must stop them from rewriting history. That's right, because this is what they're literally attempting to do with Michael Jordan, but no one else, Michael Jordan. And we're going to talk today in this video about this guy, Tom Habrastraw, I think his name is, some clown. He's a LeBron James fan club member. He's a LeMedia member, guys. You may have never heard of him before, right? But Tom Habrastraw is like I said, a loser, guys. A LeBron James fan club member. This guy has no integrity, no honor. Tom Habrastraw trying to rewrite the history of Michael Jordan with some clown nonsense about a Defensive Player of the Year award in the 1988 season. We're going to talk about in this video, man. Once again, these guys expose themselves. And all they're doing is, once again, doing the opposite of what they think they're doing. They think that they're exposing Michael Jordan. All they do is expose themselves and LeBron James, guys. And we're going to talk about in this video. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man. Shout out to all you guys, man. Shout out to everybody in the Philippines, everybody in Canada, everybody out there in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, France, England, Croatia, Mexico, Spain, the Netherlands, Belgium. Shout out to all you guys, everybody out there in Italy, South Africa, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica. Shout out to all you guys, man. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting my channel, everyone across the states, New York, LA, DC, Chicago, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Florida, Texas, Ohio. Shout out to everybody, man, for real, man. Much respect to all you guys. Thank you for all the support. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, we're going to talk about this clown, Tom Habrastraw, I think his name is. Some weirdo, another LeBron James fan club member, guys. Another LeMedia member, guys. Believe me when I tell you this, guys. This guy's a LeBron James fan club member. He's a LeMedia member, guys. So let me give you a quick background on this guy, Tom Habrastraw. Number one, like I said, guys, this guy was covering the Miami Heat when LeBron James made the decision to go to Miami. This guy, Tom Habrastraw, was covering the Miami Heat, guys, for ESPN in 2011. So right there, that exposes him as being this objective, honest, a guy that has integrity reporter. It's not true. This guy's a LeBron James fan, man. This guy's been a LeBron James media member since he went to Miami, guys. So he covered Miami after LeBron James made the decision for ESPN, this guy, man. This guy's a huge LeBron James fan, has always been a LeBron James fan. He graduated high school in 2004. So you know this guy did not grow up watching the 80s and the 90s era of NBA. He did not watch Michael Jordan's era. He didn't watch this stuff. He grew up watching LeBron James, guys. He graduated high school when LeBron James went to the NBA in 04, guys. You're going to sit there and tell me he ain't a LeBron James fan? He covered the Miami Heat for ESPN when LeBron James went down and made the decision and went to Miami and formed the super team? This guy, Tom Habrastraw's a clown. He's a straight piece of garbage, man. I don't respect this dude. These guys expose themselves. See, they think that they're doing something. This guy went back in the books and started talking about Michael Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year award and the stats he got in 1988. This guy's a loser. You're a loser, Tom Habrastraw. I would be embarrassed to even know you. If you were my son, I'd be embarrassed. Your family name is being embarrassed right now. You are a straight clown. You have no integrity, no honor, no class. You're a classless individual. You went back to Michael Jordan's 1988 season to check the record books to see how many steals and blocks he was getting accredited for? It's an absolute joke. Hey, Tom Habrastraw, why don't you go back and look at LeBron James' books over the last 5 or 6 seasons? How many assists has LeBron James gotten over the years that were not really assists? How many rebounds has LeBron James been credited for that were not really his rebounds? What are we doing here, man? Tom Habrastraw, you got no energy to expose LeBron James. You don't want to do any research on the suspicion around LeBron James and these PED usage. Tom Habrastraw got no energy for that. He don't want to go look into that research. Go look into the details behind LeBron James and all these allegations. He's busy. He's too busy going back to 1988 when this man was like, he must have been 2 years old in 1988, I believe. I think he's like 6 or 7 years younger than me. This guy really went back to 1988 when he was 2 years old to look at the books about Michael Jordan. And for what? What's the end game here? Once again, if we took away all of Michael Jordan's steals, you took away all of his blocks. Even if you took away his Defensive Player of the Year award, it means literally nothing in the grand scheme of Michael Jordan's greatness. On this channel, I never harp on stats. I never harp on accolades or things like that. I always harp on the video footage, right? The facts, what Michael Jordan actually did on the basketball court. And I touched on this in the other video yesterday. And I told you guys, Michael Jordan being known as a great defensive player, one of the great defensive players in NBA's history, has nothing to do with the steals and blocks that he got or didn't get. Had nothing to do with that. Michael Jordan wasn't all stats. It was substance. When you watch the video footage, Michael Jordan was shutting guys down, literally shutting players down. He was a terror out there on the defensive end, a terror. He had big men looking over their shoulders because they knew Michael Jordan was going to come flying from behind. This all stuff you see in the video footage. Damn the numbers of blocks and steals he got. I could care less about how many blocks or steals Michael Jordan got. That did not validate him being a great defensive player. Michael Jordan was a great defensive player because of the way that he played defense on the court. The video footage backs everything up. Michael Jordan had great instincts on defense. He had great timing on defense. He was a great help defender. He was a great on-ball defender because he had the athleticism, the quick feet. He had the big hands, right? He had a great defensive stance, Michael Jordan. He was a great athlete. The jumping ability, the speed of Michael Jordan, all this helped him be great on defense. But the main thing for Michael Jordan on the defensive end, which separated him and separates the great defensive players from the good defensive players, is the effort that Michael Jordan gave consistently on the defensive end. It has nothing to do with his steals. It has nothing to do with his blocks. It doesn't matter what this clown Tom Habrastraw has to say. This guy embarrassed himself. He exposed himself. These guys really believe that they're doing something. He thinks that he came out with I got some knowledge. I got some information that people don't know about. Michael Jordan was getting favoritism calls for stats, for steals, and blocks. So once again, I asked this guy, Tom Habrastraw, are you going to go back and check the books for every all-time great? Are we going to go back and look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's blocks and steals? Are we going to go back and look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's points and the rebounds he's got? Are we going to go back and look at Magic Johnson's assists and the steals that he may have gotten? Are we going to go back on Larry Bird's rebounds and see how many rebounds Larry Bird really got? And we're going to start giving them Kevin McHale or Robert Parrish? Are we really going to start doing these things? Why didn't Tom Habrastraw go look into LeBron James stats? Why did he go look at Michael Jordan stats? He's a LeBron James guy, but he's busy digging into Michael Jordan's records. Think about how that sounds. These are weirdos. These guys are literally guys trying to rewrite their history right before our eyes. I always tell you this, guys. We're stopping them from rewriting their history, and some people don't believe it. They're doing it. They're trying to rewrite their history, going into their history books for Michael Jordan, but no one else. Once again, Michael Jordan being held to a higher standard, the highest standard in all of sports, in the history of sports. No one's been scrutinized like Michael Jordan. These guys are digging into Michael Jordan's 88th season. The man hasn't played in almost 30 years, and you have a clown like Tom Habrastraw going back into his record books of 88 to look at steals and blocks, because that's all that matters for you being a great defensive player, for being a Defensive Player of the Year award winner, is your steals and blocks. It don't add up, man. Once again, Michael Jordan's not recognized as an all-time great defensive player because of his steals and blocks. It's not. What about Chris Paul? How many times has Chris Paul led the league in steals? Let's go back and look at Chris Paul's steals. How many steals did he got that are actual steals? How many times did they cook the books on Chris Paul? You got to be kidding me right now. It's an absolute joke. Are we going to go back on Gary Payton now? Let's go look at Gary Payton's 96 season and his Defensive Player of the Year award. Let's go dig into how come Tom Habrastraw didn't dig into Gary Payton's numbers and look at his stuff. What are we talking about here? How come we didn't look at Ben Wallace's numbers? Ben Wallace got 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, but Tom Habrastraw's not going to go look into his numbers and see how the hell he won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards? He's not going to look into Rudy Gobert's numbers. He won't look at Rudy Gobert's numbers in this inflated NBA. Over the last 5-6 seasons, the NBA has inflated stats all across the board. Rebounds, assists. These guys are allowed to travel and then score. They're allowed to carry the ball and then make a pass. All these stats are inflated. Tom Habrastraw ain't got nothing looking for these guys. He's not going to dig into Rudy Gobert's numbers. Guy won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards in the softest era in NBA's history. But Tom Habrastraw ain't going to look into that. They're too busy looking into Michael Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year award because they still can't figure out how LeBron James never won a Defensive Player of the Year award, but Michael Jordan did. Did Tom Habrastraw go back and look at Michael Jordan's 1993 NBA season when he finished runner-up to Defensive Player of the Year award in 93? Did he look into that? Did he look into the numbers in 93 season? Michael Jordan could have won Defensive Player of the Year award about two or three separate occasions. He could have won in 93. He could have won in 88. He could have won in 87, guys. Did Tom Habrastraw look into his 87 stats? Did he look into those things? No, he only looked into the year that Michael Jordan won the award, right? That's all he's concerned about. He didn't look into the stats. He's concerned about the 1988 Defensive Player of the Year award that Michael Jordan has on his resume that LeBron James can't sniff. But once again, all they're doing now, Tom Habrastraw, is exposing LeBron James. That's all you're doing. Because once again, Michael Jordan is not known as a great defensive player because of the stats he put up. It's because of the way that he approached the defensive end, the effort he gave on the defensive end, and his defensive ability. LeBron James, the complete opposite. LeBron James does not give the effort like Michael Jordan, the defensive end. He's not consistent like Michael Jordan, the defensive end. He's not the athlete that Michael Jordan was. So, once again, this is why LeBron James is not recognized as an all-time great defensive player. It doesn't matter how many steals LeBron James has or doesn't have, how many blocks he has or didn't get. It has to do with the effort that he's not giving consistently. This is why he's only made 6 all-defensive teams in 21 seasons. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan made 9 in what? 13 full seasons? 11 full seasons? It's an absolute joke. But Tom Habrastraw is going to come and tell you that Michael Jordan's stats were inflated in his home games. Hey, they were giving him more steals and blocks in his home games. Were the guys that were cooking the books also going on the court and playing defense for Michael Jordan? I don't ever remember seeing anyone from the scorer's table checking in and playing defense for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was guarding Isaiah Thomas. Michael Jordan was guarding Joe Dumars. He was guarding Reggie Miller and Clyde Drexler. Right? It was Michael Jordan guarding these guys. The Mitch Richmonds, the Sidney Moncriefs, the Michael Coopers, the Dennis Johnsons. It was Michael Jordan guarding Magic Johnson in the 1991 NBA Finals, not Tom Habrastraw, not some statistician. It's actual defense being played by Michael Jordan. They're not inflating Michael Jordan's defensive abilities. So maybe got accredited for a couple more steals, a couple more blocks. Who gives a damn? Once again, how come Tom Habrastraw didn't go through and review all the books for all the players in 1988? Only Michael Jordan? Once again, you're singling out Michael Jordan for what? To do what? To try to lift LeBron James up and make it seem like Michael Jordan wasn't that great on defense? Is that what we're really trying to do? Remember, guys, Tom Habrastraw is not an honest guy. He has no class, no integrity, these guys. Remember, he followed the Miami Heat. He covered the Miami Heat for ESPN. He's essentially, guys, a Brian Windhorse. That's what this guy Tom Habrastraw is. None of these guys have any integrity, guys. Remember that. These guys that we're listening to today, these fake analysts, these broadcasters, these are not the same guys that we grew up watching back in the 80s and the 90s. Those guys stood on principles, on values. They had honor, integrity. They had a respect for the game. They had class. This guy, Tom Habrastraw, Brian Windhorse, Dave McNamara, Kendrick Perkins, Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp. These guys have no integrity. None. No integrity. No honor. They're not being honest with you. They're not educating you. This guy, Tom Habrastraw, thinks he's doing something. You think you're educating the folks? No, you're not. You're making yourself look stupid, and all you're making now is us expose LeBron James even further. How come LeBron James never got any of these stats? Right? LeBron James never got any of these stats that Michael Jordan was getting, and they're going to say, what? Why? Because Michael Jordan was getting preferential treatment at the home games? LeBron James gets preferential treatment all across the NBA. It don't matter if he's playing home or away. The referee's been helping this man his whole career. How many points has LeBron James gotten from phantom foul calls? Phantom fouls. LeBron James never gets called for fouls. But Tom Habrastraw won't look into the books on that. He won't look into the books to see how many times LeBron James actually fouled somebody, but they never called the foul on LeBron James. 21 years LeBron James has been playing. Still hasn't passed Michael Jordan in personal fouls. How is that possible? Because once again, Tom Habrastraw won't report this, but LeBron James is always getting preferential treatment from the referees. He's the chosen one. Tom Habrastraw won't look into those records. He won't look and see how many assists LeBron James has gotten over the last 10 seasons that were not really assists. A lot of LeBron James' assists are not assists, guys, or they wouldn't be counted as assists in the 80s and the 90s, but they get counted now. Tom Habrastraw ain't got nothing to say about that. All these assists these guys are getting now that are inflated. He got nothing to say about that. He got nothing to say about the rebounds, right? They'll try to knock the guys from the 50s and the 60s for inflated rebound numbers. The guys today in this era, these are inflated rebound numbers. Go look at how many times you'll see a LeBron James or Luka Doncic. Some of these guys get 10, 11, 12 rebounds. 0 offensive rebounds, guys. 0 offensive. Standing there, flat-footed rebounds, long rebounds off of all these three-point chucks. Not impressed. Cooking the books for these guys. LeBron James has been getting help his whole career, man. This guy, Tom Habrastraw, sounds ridiculous. And once again, you expose yourself. Because once we dig into you and look into who you are, we find out you're a LeBron James fan club member. You're one of the LeMedia members. You've been a fan of LeBron James since high school. You've been following the Miami Heat for ESPN since 2011 when LeBron James made the decision. He's all about LeBron James. I guarantee he don't believe LeBron James ever played for a super team, but you're supposed to take the word of someone like that. Someone like that's supposed to have integrity, supposed to be being honest. But he went back on Michael Jordan. He didn't go back on Kobe. He didn't go back on Tim Duncan. He didn't go back on Larry Bird or any of these other guys. He didn't go dig into Will Chamberlain's numbers and all the points that he was scoring, all his rebounds. He didn't want to look into those numbers, huh? He had no energy for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How about Moses Malone? All the offensive rebounds Moses Malone is known to have gone throughout his career. Recognized as probably the greatest offensive rebounder in the history of the game. And I'm not putting any dispersion on these guys. But how come Tom Habrastraw didn't go look at Moses Malone's offensive rebounds? Since these numbers are astronomical, did you look at Moses Malone's offensive rebounds? How many times does the guy get credited for an offensive rebound because he tapped it with his hand? He just tapped it. How many times did Dennis Rodman get offensive rebounds for tapping the ball up? Is that a real rebound? I'm not saying it is or isn't, but once again, when you look into the record books and you try to make a statement like this about Michael Jordan steals and blocks in 1988 in the home games and blah, 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 you sound ridiculous. Once again, you're reaching. Tom Habrastraw is reaching for anything to try to make you believe that LeBron James is somehow as great of a defensive player as Michael Jordan. Did anyone stop LeBron James from making all defensive teams? Did Michael Jordan or the statisticians keep LeBron James from making an all-defensive team all these years? No, he kept himself off the all-defensive teams because he's not playing defense consistently. Literally standing around defense. How come Tom Habrastraw didn't look into the record books or the video footage of how often LeBron James stands with his hands on his hips on defense? And then look into Michael Jordan's 1988 season and contrast that. How many times was Michael Jordan standing with his hands on his hips, walking back on defense, standing, biting his nails, blowing on his hands? Break it down that way. And you'll expose LeBron James and the reasons why LeBron James is not recognized as a great defensive player, but Michael Jordan is. It has nothing to do with the stats. Once again, the LeBron James fan club, the LeMedia, worried about stats. That's all they got is stats. All they have for LeBron James are his stats. That mean nothing. Oh, LeBron James averaged a triple-double in the finals. Yeah, but he lost it. Oh, LeBron James, he leads all teams in points, rebounds. Who cares? What does that mean? Still went 4-6 in the finals. It ain't helping him win, apparently. Because LeBron James is missing the key things that winners have. Leadership. LeBron James has no leadership. Heart, grit. LeBron James got neither one of those. And once again, LeBron James lacking the understanding to put his team in a system. He still hasn't figured that out to help his teammates help him. Still, LeBron James never worked on a go-to move all these years. Those are the reasons why LeBron James has not been successful. And don't tell me about the stats. Tom Habrastraw, you sound ridiculous. Once again, you're an idiot. You have no cachet. Who is Tom Habrastraw? He's nobody, guys. Literally nobody. The guy's got like 6,000 followers on Instagram. Who the hell is this guy? He's no one. No one. He's a clown. He exposed himself as having no integrity. He's a low integrity, low class dude. For him to try to come out all these years later and say that Michael Jordan's 89 Defensive Player of the Year award, 88 Defensive Player of the Year award is suspect now? We can question it because of some record keeping in his home games? Once again, we could point to every play in NBA's history, guys, that's gotten some kind of preferential treatment from the record books, from the officials from time to time. Once again, stop trying to single out Michael Jordan. I always tell you guys, Michael Jordan is held to the highest standard in the history of the NBA. The LeMedia members, these fan club members of LeBron James, they hold Michael Jordan to a higher standard than they ever hold LeBron James. But they'll keep talking about Michael Jordan, but they won't hold LeBron James to that same standard. Once again, how come Tom Habrastraw didn't go back on his books? Go back and look at LeBron James' 2013 season, where they claim he was robbed for a Defensive Player of the Year award. Go back in his books. Go see how many steals he got in Miami, how many blocks he did or didn't get. LeBron James ain't playing defense like that. That's why he's not known as a great defensive player. It has nothing to do with stats. Only LeBron James and the LeMedia, LeBron James fans and the LeMedia members are so concerned about stats. The Michael Jordan fans, the true NBA basketball fans, we ain't worried about stats. Stats ain't the end-all, be-all. That don't explain the whole story. Michael Jordan's not a great defensive player because of his stats. The stats are something that we can point to illustrate certain aspects of his game on defense, but that's not what made him a great defensive player. Him locking dudes up, shutting guys down on defense, right? Giving guys a hard time, making people look over their shoulder, wonder where Michael Jordan is, having coaches game plan against Michael Jordan and his defensive ability. That has nothing to do with the stats. That's what he did on the basketball court. The energy that he gave on defense has nothing to do with the stats. None of those people were playing defense for him. Tom Habrastraw sounds ridiculous, man. And once again, who is this guy? He's nobody. Literally nobody, guys. He's not a grown man. He has no integrity. I mean, look at the dude. He's a straight clown. And like I told you guys, he exposed himself. He's a LeBron James fan club member. He's a Brian Windhorst, guys. He's just like Brian Windhorst. He covered the Miami Heat for ESPN when LeBron James made the decision. Because ESPN was all over the Miami Heat when LeBron James went down there. And he was covering the Miami Heat for ESPN, guys. This guy's a clown. He did not grow up in the 80s and 90s watching the 80s or the 90s NBA. The guy was born like 1988, man. He don't know any of this stuff. He don't know about Michael Jordan. Once again, LeBron James is his fan. These people are not objective. How can you be a reporter, all right, with a journalist, whatever the case may be, and have any integrity? These guys have no integrity. They're so biased. It's ridiculous. So remember, guys, Michael Jordan's more than the stats. That's what we always have talked about, offense or defense. And Michael Jordan's more than the stats. Michael Jordan's the video footage. It's the eye test. It's all the effort that Michael Jordan gave on both sides of the ball. The leadership that Michael Jordan had. The grit, the heart he played with. The love of the game he played with. It has nothing to do with the stats. He played for the love of the game. To win. A true competitor. Tom Habrastraw don't know nothing about that stuff, man. Tom Habrastraw ain't no damn true competitor. Once again, he's not a grown man. Look how these people act. This is not grown man activity. For you to be digging the history books, where's the honor in this? There's no honor in you trying to rewrite history with nonsense that you cannot prove. You can't prove these things. It's just him trying to throw stones at Michael Jordan. Once again, they're reaching, guys. Reaching. Michael Jordan ain't played in 30 years, and this guy's worried about the 1988 Defensive Player of the Year award. Why is he not worried about LeBron James and his lack of defense? LeBron James is still playing. Why don't you do an article on why LeBron James hasn't made a defensive team in his 30s? Why doesn't Tom Habrastraw do an article on why LeBron James hasn't won an MVP in his 30s? Are they cooking the books? How LeBron James won an MVP in 2009, 2010? That wasn't some favoritism there from LeBron James? I told you Kobe should have won one of those. At least. Tom Habrastraw, do us all a favor, man. And go the hell on. Hit the bricks, you clown. You are not a true basketball fan. You have no integrity. You're not a grown man. You're a small coward, soft, feminine fool. All people who support LeBron James are soft, feminine clowns that stand on nothing. There's no honor in this. This guy looks like a disgusting fool. Like I said, he embarrassed himself, his family name. I'd be embarrassed if this was my son. Dude, you're digging through the record books on the greatness of Michael Jordan? For what? What are you trying to prove? You proved nothing. Because all you've done is expose yourself and LeBron James' lack of overall defense. LeBron James is nowhere near the defensive player of Michael Jordan. That has nothing to do with stats. It's the facts. It's what you see on the court. Tell Tom Habrastraw to make a video on LeBron James' defensive abilities over the last 10 seasons. I would love to hear his expertise. Guy's a joke, man. You guys know the deal, man. This is why we must stop them from rewriting the history, guys. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.